Hello everyone, welcome to all. In the previous session, we have discussed about some introduction concepts regarding to the shear force and bending moment. Okay, what is meant by shear force as well as the what is meant by bending moment. Okay, uh, in this session, we are going to discuss some more concepts about how does the material how the diagrams will be appear, how to draw shear force and bending moment diagrams for the simple basic problems. Okay, either it may be cantilever beam for the, or either it may be simply supported beam. Okay, or propped beam. So let me revise what we have discussed in the earlier class. So we have a two equations for the equilibrium equations. uh, Before going to that, when a bar is subject to tensile force, the bar we can call it as a tie. When a bar is subjected to compressible force, and that bar is, we can call it as a strut. Okay, so whenever the forces the summation of forces along the axis is equals to zero. Okay, for a 1 dimensional, this is the equation: the summation of forces along the axis is equals to zero. If in case of 2D dimensional, 2D dimensional in the sense of plane stress. Okay, two dimensional, x and y direction. Okay, the beams, shafts. Okay, here for in case of 2D dimensions, the equilibrium equation will be summation of f of y equals to 0, summation of f of x equals to 0, and bending moment at the perpendicular direction z is equals to 0. We have three equations here. Okay, for the equilibrium equations, uh, in order to solve the problems easily, we just to elaborate one some equilibrium equations. Okay, in order to solve the problems. So that's why reason equilibrium equations, based on these equilibrium equations we are using, we are applying, and we are getting some value results. Okay, for one dimensional we have one equation only. Along the axis, what are the summation of forces along the axis equals to 0. For in case of two dimensional, either it may be summation of y equals 0, or either it may be summation of f of x equals 0, and movements about the particular z direction is equals to 0. We have to consider three equations for the 2D. If in case of 3D, we have to consider six equations. Six equations is nothing but the either maybe x direction and y direction and z direction. The forces along the three these respective directions. Okay, these respective directions. X, it should be x, and it should be y, and it could be z direction. Okay, so whenever for these 2D problems or 3D cases, we need to consider the equilibrium equations. Okay, so through these equilibrium equations we are going to find out the unknown values. Okay, listen guys, got my point. I understand, I hope you. So summation of f of x equals 0 for the 3D cases, summation of f of y equals 0 in case of y direction, summation of z equals 0. Okay, the respective forces along the respective directions is equals to 0, and at the same time the moments also, the moments of summation of moments about the x-axis 0, summation of moments about the y is equals to 0, summation of moments about the z direction is equals to 0. So these six equilibrium equations we need to consider for the 3D cases. For in case of 2D cases, the three equilibrium equations we need to consider. Okay, types of supports. And next, types of supports. Suppose first case one, roller supports. Okay, the roller supports which are appears in this as is shown in figure. Okay, as shown in this display. So the roller supports will be like this one. Okay, from roller is there over which the beam which is supported. Okay, and the roller we can freely rotate about the base plane. Okay, about the base platform. And the next one the examples are the old bridges. Okay, if you have you seen any old bridges which are contains some kind of rollers which are bottom the beam. Okay, some beams are there, some rollers are there under the beam. Okay, which are tends to which are providing the main purpose of providing the rollers are the to freely expand its length due to if in case of the thermal stresses. Okay, in order to provision of thermal stresses we need to add roller supports. Okay, and next one hinge supports. And hinge supports nothing but the pin support. Suppose if in case of roller support we have only one reaction force is there, only one reaction force. Okay, which is acts in vertical direction upwards, vertically upwards direction. Okay, in case of hinge support the two we have here two reaction components. For the roller support we have only one reaction component. For the hinge support we have only two reaction components, and either it should be a vertical and horizontal. Okay, so in between the resultant of these two forces we can just replace it by some force which is called it as a resultant force. Okay, in order to replace the effect of in order to replace the impact of two forces by the one force we can call it as a resultant force. Okay, old bridges. Okay, the examples also old bridges same. Here the fixed support, what will happen if you fix the one end of the beam. Okay, it will leads to three reaction components. Okay, three reaction components: x direction, and one it will be the x in x direction, and another will be x in the y direction, and additionally we have observed one movement will be there internally, some movement, the resistance of movement will be there. Okay, we need to consider three reaction components. For the roller supports we need to consider only one reaction component. For in case of hinge support we need to consider two reaction components. Okay, resultant kept aside. Okay, not a problem. The amount of resultant will be kept aside. Okay, we can negligible, not negligible, some much of considerable. Okay, if in case of fixed support we need to consider three reaction components: vertical, horizontal, at the same time some bending movement will be there. Okay, suppose one more support will be there: internal hinge. Is it visible my screen please? Internal hinge which is nothing but the in between two links we have a two members, we have a one link will be there, internally hinged. Okay, uh, which is appears as a elbow joint for the hand, for the human hand we have a elbow joint will be there. Okay, like that one. Here the bending moment will be equals to 0. There is no bending moment will be there. Okay, shear hinges. The next type of support will be the shear hinges, axial shear hinges, transverse shear hinges. It's nothing but the whenever the shear force acts in a parallel axis direction, I mean longitudinal axis direction, it will be leads to axial shear hinge. Okay, whenever the shear force will be acts in a vertical direction. Okay, vertical direction in the sense of transverse direction, perpendicular to the axis. Okay, here this is the axis. The shear force will be also, this is the axis, and the shear force will be also in this direction. Okay, which is parallel to the line of action. Okay, this is the line of action. So here the line of action or axis of the line will be in this direction, but the shear force, the action of shear force will be in this direction, which is perpendicular to the previous one. Okay, the shear force will be acts in the vertical direction or transverse direction. That's why the transfer shear hinges will be there. Okay. And next, links, number of links. Okay. We can add any number of links based on the design constants. Okay. So we need to here the best example is the truss. Okay, in truss we may know that the trusses, the railway bridges of which is appears as the trusses. Okay, we can consider it as a truss. So trusses, nothing but number of links will be added, used for the media connection between the two members. Okay, so I have a links. I have a links like this one. Okay, I have a links like this one. Okay, here I have a one link, and here a one more link, and here a one more link here, and here a one more link here. Okay, so what are the here, how many number of bars here, how many number of elements here? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, some out of the 7 elements, how many numbers, how many number of links? So what we have used? 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, in order to make a connection between 7 links, we just add here, we just use the 5 links. Okay, 7 members, for this connection of 7 members, we just add here 5 links. Okay, by using the links we can make a joint also. The examples are the truss. So okay, up to now we have discussed about the equilibrium equations, and what will happen in case of 1D. If what will happen in case of 2D, we have a three equations we need to consider, and 3D we have to 6 equations we have to consider, and the types of supports. Types of supports under this category, we have a roller supports, hinged supports, and fixed support. Okay, internal hinge or shear hinges. Okay, these are the either maybe axial, either maybe transverse direction or links. Okay, and the under what we have discussed is under the category, comes under the category of uh, types of supports. Okay, and next concept is types of loads. What are the types of loads? Concentrated or point load. Okay, for example, point load, more stress concentration. Okay, yeah, the entire load will be acts on a particular point. Okay, so the default disadvantage of this type of load will be the more load is concentrated on a particular point, it leads to more amount of stress will be developed at a particular point. Okay, it will, and at the same time it will leads to the failure. Okay, whenever the high amount of stress will be acts or will be developed on the single point, it will leads to failure. Okay, it is not suitable for the practical applications. Uniformly distributed load, and the next one is the uniformly distributed load, as you know, the UDL. Okay, uniformly the load will be distributed uniformly throughout the length. Okay, throughout the some part of the length. So the units will be the kilonewton per meter here. Okay, just have a look at the screen, please. W equals to kilonewton per meter. Okay, uh, here we have a 1 meter. We need to consider 1 meter of length, and over the 1 meter of length, the load will be distributed uniformly, like this one. Okay, uniformly. Okay, this load we can call it as a uniformly distributed load. The units will be the here, guys. Hope you remember that one. The units will be the kilonewton per meter. We need to represent the meter also. Okay, as per the ISO. Okay, this is the standards for the. Is none of the our part. Okay, this is the how do the symbolic representation of UDL. Either you can represent it by this rectangular shapes, arrow marks. Either it may be represented by this curves. Okay, this is the UDL, uniformly distributed load. But as per the Okay, sorry, not important for mechanical concepts. Uniformly varying load. So another type of load will be the uniformly varying load. Either may be triangular, either may be trapezoidal. Okay, the for the for the span of some length, for the span of length, the load will be varying linearly. Okay, from zero. Fr- From zero, the load will be varyingly, you can call it as a triangular load. So the units will be also kilonewton per meter. Okay, we need to represent the meter per meter of length, how much that load will be distributed. Okay, from zero to some amount of value. Okay, the load, this type of load will be the triangular. Okay, and next one is the trapezoidal. Trapezoidal, initially the initial or the span of length or the span of the beam, the initial load will be the some value. It does not equals to zero. Okay, in case of triangular, the initial value will be the zero. If in case of trapezoidal, the initial value of the load will be some having some value. Either it may be 10 kilonewtons, either it may be starts from 100 kilonewtons, or either it may be starts from 10 kilonewtons. Okay, or 50 kilonewtons, whatever it may be. Okay, now the examples are the, if in case of when we, these are the two examples we need to we will discuss later. We will discuss in the FM. Okay, fluid mechanics. In the next type of load will be the couple. Okay, couple in the sense of what is meant by couple is nothing but the any two forces having same magnitude which are acts in a opposite direction over the span of, or the span of length. Okay, we have a which are having same magnitude but opposite direction, but which is acts at a particular distance. Okay, the distance between the two forces will be a. Okay, the amount of force will be the p. Okay, so due to the couple movement, one movement will be happen, one movement will be induced. Okay, so movement v is equals to p into a. Okay, p is nothing but the force, and a will be the distance between these two forces. Okay, so in practical application, if you have any consider here on a plate here, the shear force will be like in this direction. Okay, and the next one is the bracket. If in case of, so it will, it has uh, these three examples are the difficult to understand for your basics. Okay, these are foremost advanced methods. Okay, if I consider this one, it will lead to fluid mechanics. Whenever the amount amount, we need to consider some amount of we need to consider what is the amount of pressure if in case of fluids, which will lead to like this one. Okay, if pressure fluids, and it is related to retaining walls, and it is related to shear forces. Okay, we have better applications also for easily understanding. Okay, the next problem, next concept is the bracket type of, even bracket also under the category of type of load. Okay, suppose we have a links here, or we have a bar here, and over the bar, over the beam, we have a link here, bracket. Okay, we have a bracket here, and over the bracket at the some amount of load will be x. Okay, so we need to shift the load from here to here. Okay, so by adding, we just we don't know, and we have no right to transmit same forces. We may have a possibility to transmit the same forces by, but we need to by we should add, we have to add one moment will be there. Okay, one moment will be in this direction. Okay, I hope you, yeah, understand this concept. For in case of brackets, we have a bracket here, and over the bracket one load will be acts in this direction. So So as well as we need to shift the load from this place to this place. Okay. Uh, so by transferring the load, we need to add one more movements will be there. So due to this unsymmetrical position, this force causes some movement will be there. Okay, some movement will be there in the sphere. We need to consider that movement also. Okay, bracket the load into W m equals to W into A. So to know, we have discussed about the types of loads, and now next concept is types of beams. Simply supported beam. Okay, this is the simply supported beam. Okay, uh, the entire beam is it is supported by two pin joints, or it may be two pin supports. Okay, next one is the propped cantilever. Propped cantilever is nothing but the, we have a cantilever in the sense, whenever the beam having one end is fixed and another end is remain free, we can call it as a cantilever beam. So when we provide a one roller support to the free end, it can call it as the propped cantilever. Okay, we have a one more roller support will be there. Either maybe roller support, either maybe pin support. Okay, and these are the types of beams. We have a simply three beams: simply supported beam, propped cantilever beam, or cantilever beam. Types of beams. Types of beams is nothing but the first one is the cantilever beam, and at the free end we will applying some load here. Okay, simply supported beam is nothing but the like this one. Okay, one beam is it is supported by two joints, two pins. Okay, either maybe roller support, either maybe pin supports. Okay, in between these two rollers, over the top surface, we are applying a load here. Okay, this is the simply supported beam. This is the cantilever beam. This is the simply supported beam. And we have a one more beam also, overhanging beam. Overhanging beam is nothing but the is simply supported beam, and it has a extra length. Okay, the load will be acts in this direction, and here, and here. Okay, here number of loads will be there. The load will here. What is the difference between the simply supported beam and overhanging beam? If in case of simply supported beam, the external load will be as in between the two pin joints. Here the external load will be as beyond the pin joints. Okay, apart from placing some amount of distance, at a distance of the pin joints. Okay, shear force and bending moment diagram. Variation shear force along the section. They is nothing but the shear force diagram is nothing but the uh, suppose let me take an example. Okay, so, so before going to that, I need to describe about the types of loads. Okay, first one is the axial loads. Okay, this is the axial loads. So due to axial load, there will be no shear stresses induced within the body. Okay, so and next one is the when we consider a body and which is subjected to an external agency of load which is in a transverse direction. This is called the transverse loads. Okay, and this is the transverse loads. Suppose in case of transverse loads, it will leads to it will cause some shear stresses will be there. Why? Because and this is the transverse is nothing but the some shear force. Okay, is that this shear force will be tearing off this section from the original from this. Okay, tearing off section. Suppose while applying this load, some amount of shear stress will be induced within the body. Okay, it will lead to tear of the body. Okay, due to tear of the body, it the material has a probability of getting shear stresses. Okay, how does, if in case of I have to consider a cantilever, I have to consider a cantilever beam and over which at the free end I'm just applying a load of P. So I need to consider at a particular point. Okay, at this point I need to consider how much the shear stress will be there. Okay, at at the if the fixed support, I need to calculate the shear stress, how much the shear stress will be developed. Okay, but I need but up to now we have discussed up to now we have aware about only what are the amount of load which is act on the free end. So we don't know how much how much amount of load will be acts on the middle of this beam, either maybe fixed support, either at the fixed support, we don't know. So we need to calculate, we need to know. Okay, at the particular point the CSS will be acts or not. Okay, if it is acts, how much act, how much amount of acts. Okay, diagram shows represent the shear force along the x-axis. Okay, shear force at a point and shear force at a section. The before going to that, we have to consider some sign conventions are there for the shear force. Okay, we have to consider for the two considerations. uh, First consider is sign conventions. Okay, uh, just have a look at this screen. We have a one beam here, and I'm just considering a section here. From the for the right side of the part, right side of the section, what are the amount of loads which is acts downwards or on the beam, which is acts on the beam in a downwards direction, we can consider it as a positive. Okay, whenever the forces are acting in the upwards, okay, in this direction, upward forces are negative. We just consider the sign conventions. Okay, before going to analyze the shear force and the bending moment diagram, all the downward forces will be the positive, all the upward forces will be the negative. If you consider the left side of the section, if you consider left side of the section, quite opposite. All the downward forces are considered as a negative, all the upward forces will be considered as a positive. Okay, it's nothing but the whenever sign convention clockwise with the type of load if the load will be clockwise, the shear stress will be positive. If in case anti-clockwise, consider the sign convention will be the negative. Anti-clockwise is nothing but this propaganda. This is the anti-clockwise direction. This is the couple which tends to rotates the body in a anti-clockwise direction. This is the couple which tends to rotate the body in a clockwise direction. Okay, this is the anti-clockwise direction. Okay, at the same time, bending moment at a section. So if in case of bending moment at a section, we need to, before going to that, we have to discuss about the sagging and hogging. Sagging and hogging nothing but the, suppose we have a simply supported beam here. We have a simply supported beam here, and at the ends we have a pin joints here. Okay, when we apply the load at the center point, at a point of center, the beam will be tends to deflect in this direction, in this way. Okay, the beam will be, this is the initially the beam will be the straight. After the application of load, the beam will be getting deflected like this one. Okay, so this is the this type of shape, we can call it as a sagging. Okay, it's nothing but the simply representation of the smile. Okay, for the easily remembrance. And the if in case of when we consider the beam, and the beam has a pin joints like this. The beam has a pin joints like this one. When we applied the load in this direction, in the downward direction, okay, the beam will be tends to deflect in this direction, okay, in this direction, and this type of shape we can call it as a hogging, simply supported. For the if in case of simply supported, the type of load, the type of shape will be sagging. Okay, remember these two terms. Okay, uh, sagging, and this is the hogging. Okay, so remember these two concepts, sign conversion. This is the most important for the solving the problems. This is the sign conversion. If you consider a section here, for the right side of the section, if you what are the amount of loads, okay, the all downward directions are all positive, all upward directions all upward forces are negative. If you consider the left side of the section, if you consider left side of the section, the load will be, all the downward forces will be negative, all the upward forces will be positive. Okay, here also, if you consider the bending moment sign conventions, all the clockwise all the clockwise movements will be negative, all the anti-clockwise movements will be positive. Okay, what is the difference between these two? Okay, let me describe. Just to kept aside from first to remove the left side concept. Okay, just to consider, just assume right side concepts. Okay, right, for the right side concepts, what are the amount of loads will be, all the downward forces will be positive for the shear force distribution. If in case of bending movement, all the downward forces will be causes negative. Okay, downward forces in the sense of clockwise movements. Okay, downward forces will lead to clockwise. That's why reason. Here we downward forces will be positive. Here the downward couple will be the uh, negative. Quite opposite. Upward forces will be the positive negative. Here the upward movement will be the positive. Okay, here the forces, here the movements. Okay, downward movement, here the downward force. Okay, relation between the shear force and bending moment. W equals to rate of loading, kilonewton per meter, and F is equals to shear force, kilonewtons, and M equals to bending moment, kilonewton multiplied by meter. Okay, that is the difference, just to have a understanding. Okay, just to remember that one. The force equals to kilonewton. Here the bending moment equals to kilonewton into multiplied by meter. Okay, the force equals to dm by dx. W equals to df by dx. Derivation of F is nothing but the F equals to dm by dx, nothing but the this is the okay slope, dm by dx, nothing but the slope. If in case of W equals to rate of change of bm, bending moment, derivation of bending moment with respect to x. Okay, this is the bending moment graph. This is the graph for the bending moment. This is the graph for the shear force. Okay, uh, before going to the, let me describe about that. Let me small description. Okay, small graphical represent how does the how do represent the graphs for the shear force at the same time bending moment. What is the difference between, what is the common difference between these two? Okay, here for the bending moment diagram, the slope will be the at any point, this is the curve for the bending moment. When you consider a particular point, after at the particular point, when you distribute, when you differentiate between the dm by dx, okay, dm by dx, it will lead to shear force, okay. If in case of shear force, SFD diagram, I mean shear shear force diagram, when we differentiate at a particular point df by dx, it will lead to the w type of load, okay. The here the slope will be the we have to observe the for the bending moment for the bending moment the shear stress will be appear. For the shear stress the load will be appear, okay. Got my point? So slope of BMD equals to dm by dx is nothing but the SF shear force. If in case the slope of SFD df by dx, the rate of loading, okay. Got my point? For the bending moment shear stress will be obtained from the graph of shear force, the type of loading will be obtained, okay. Got my point? Suppose this is the shear force diagram and this is the bending moment diagram, okay. Before going to that, let me describe about the let's just kept aside this concept. So for the bending moment to be maximum, the for any cases the value of the some amount will be should be maximum. We need to differentiate with respect to zero, okay. So dm by df is equal to 0, it needs to f equals to 0. So as the at the point of maximum magnitude of bending moment and shear force must be 0. At the point of maximum magnitude of shear force bending moment need not to be 0. It's nothing but is some having some. We will discuss about the latter, okay. Regarding to this one, why? Because by applying by showing some pictures, I will explain these 2 points, these 3 points, okay. For the load will be, these are some assumptions like this one, okay. We will discuss in the next class regarding this two, okay.